While developing Fate of Cthulhu, we were obliged to reflect on the problematic roots of the source material.
Ah boy, here we go.
You know, there's something I've learned over the 3 years or 4 years I've been making videos for this channel, is that when it comes to article discussions, 90% of them are all the same. If you go on to Google News and you type in Lovecraft and look at the results, 90% of these are just going to be articles shitting on Lovecraft for whatever reason.
Racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic.
So essentially they're all like that, and there's no point in making a video like that over and over again. But this is something a little bit different. This is something that annoyed me and disappointed me a little bit. And also, before anything else, this disgusted me. So, what are we talking about today? Essentially, it's a very, very woke, very progressive, very soy-infused company which is very happy to shit on Lovecraft but also make a lot of money off of him. But are they gonna be making a lot of money? I think, guys, this might be a case of get woke, go broke. So the genesis of this video came from a YouTuber called Mr. H, and he is really a thoroughbred Lovecraft fan.
Huge Lovecraft fan. Huge Lovecraft fan.
His YouTube channel is much more diverse than mine. He doesn't just do Lovecraft. In fact, that might be the minority of the content he does, but he is nonetheless a fan. He looked at an article, well, really a tweet, from this company called Evil Hat Productions, where they were complaining about Lovecraft being problematic and a racist and an anti-Semite, but they still want the money from you, the viewer. They want your money, the Lovecraftian. You see, now this would be fine if it was just a circle jerk of social justice warriors complaining about Lovecraft. I wouldn't waste my time doing this article. But these people are A, exploiting Lovecraft to make money while spitting on him at the same time, and B, there's a good chance that maybe you, an honest Lovecraft fan, will see this game in some gaming store or online or something and you think, oh cool, wow, Fate of Cthulhu, that's so cool, I'm gonna buy that. Yeah, that's not gonna fly. So anyway, on Mr. H's video, he pinned a comment from himself that went, please like and share. This is something that needs to spread out there more. Expose these people. And goddamn, that's exactly what I'm going to do today. And before I get into this article, there's something I want to make very, very clear. I will never ever be censorious. I hate censorship and this sort of stuff and telling people how you can think or what you can think. I say, if someone wants to think something, no matter how crazy it is, let them think it and express that idea, and it's fair game to criticize it. So I will never say to Evil Hat Productions or any other one, or these leftist writers with a chip on their shoulder and an axe to grind against Lovecraft, that, you know, you can never write that story. You can never write stories where the Innsmouth folk are the good guys, or, you know, something like that, or Lovecraft country. I'm not going to say, no, you cannot use Lovecraft's intellectual property like that. No, you cannot. And I'm not going to say to these people either, you cannot make this game. And you know why? It's because I have so much faith in the Lovecraft community. I've been making these videos for a long time now, and I've met and talked with a lot of people here on this channel, and I know what you guys are like, and I know the sort of woke bullshit is not going to fly for you. And I think this goes for the majority of Lovecraft fans too. I can only imagine what SJWs would be thinking about this, because he hates this leftist narrative bullshit attack on Lovecraft just as much as I do. So, let's get into this. Oh yes, and of course, as per tradition in an article discussion video, it's not as much fun if the Arkham reporter is sober, is it? So today I'll be drinking some absinthe. Very nice. So the tweet starts off like this from Evil Hat Productions. While developing Fate of Cthulhu, we were obliged to reflect on the problematic roots of the source material. The mythos is definitely worth exploring. It's also worth re-examining. It's always something interesting to me when a leftist says something. They always mean something different. These people do not talk straight. They really do not. They posted this photo. It's called Content and Consent. It comes from the game manual when you buy the actual game, and explains the concepts of content and consent. Now, you're probably thinking, content, that's obvious. Well, you just bought a game. By the way, apparently it is like a tabletop RPG, like the Call of Cthulhu RPG. So obviously you open up the manual and then you think, alright, okay, content. Yes, this is going to be about Lovecraft, right? And Cthulhu. Obviously, Cthulhu's in the title. And consent? What? Why does there have to be consent here? You're not going for an operation. Then you read on. Fate of Cthulhu is a game that deals with many hard topics, including mental health, systematic abuses of power, and the deaths of huge portions of the human species. And now maybe you're thinking, including mental health. Well, I mean, is that referring to the fact that many characters in Lovecraft stories have mental health problems because they see blasphemous, nameless monstrosities? But that's just the warm-up to this shit show. Let's go on. Make sure all the players are aware of these things and give enthusiastic consent before they begin playing. Okay. Why am I laughing? Enthusiastic consent. Now, if you're a normal person and you don't pay attention to the culture war and the politics that is going on in the United States, Great Britain, all that sort of stuff, the concept of enthusiastic consent is a feminist term that relates to having sex with someone, and they want you to get enthusiastic consent from the players before playing this. Now, I'll explain it to you in the way I can do it best after having a drink. Imagine it. It's late at night. You've come home from a hard day's work, you know? You walk in the door and you see your sweetie pie sitting there, your 10 out of 10. You see her there cutting vegetables, making you dinner. Oh, already that's problematic and patriarchal, isn't it? The wife's at home cooking your dinner. And then you come up behind her, you know, and you sort of wrap your arms around her waist and then you kiss her neck.
Stop right there, criminal scum!
You have just almost raped her, probably. How this works is that you did not get enthusiastic consent to touch her body or to kiss her on the neck, which is a sexual thing. In feminist La La Land, it goes that if you want to do anything sexual with someone, or intimate like this, you have to get their enthusiastic consent. You have to say,
"Is this okay? May I touch you here? Does this feel good? How do you feel? Talk to me. May I thrust again?"
I'm not joking. It's really like this. And they want you, in this game, Fate of Cthulhu, to give enthusiastic consent to play this game because, oh no, your character, he might go insane. She might go insane. Zir might go insane. Or whatever the fuck pronoun. Moving on. Also, Howard Phillips Lovecraft was a racist and an anti-Semite. There, we said it. Have you noticed that this is like the first bold thing that is published on the page? So the producers of this game wanted you to open it and then to look there, and that's the first thing that they want you to take away from it. It's not like, oh guys, you know, you're in for a real treat. Thank you for buying our product. You know, you're going to delve into the depths of blasphemous Stygian madness where, you know, all the cats are gibbous and waning and tentacles are nameless and everywhere. No. It's not that, man. It's got to be how Howard Phillips Lovecraft is problematic to the 21st century progressive mind. They go on. We could give a litany of examples, but they are easy to find with a simple internet search. Look up the name of his cat, for instance. I knew it, of course. Were you guys shocked? Do I have your enthusiastic consent to imagine just how shocked you are right now that they brought up Lovecraft's cat? Arkham Reporter is no cuck, and he also has a sense of humor. So every time that these leftists, bring up the name of Lovecraft's cat, you are going to get something like this.
Did you notice a sign on the front of my house that said Dead Nigger Storage?
Jimmy, you know I ain't seen no shit.
Did you notice a sign in the front of my house that said Dead Nigger Storage?
We continue. Now that we've gotten that issue out in the open, let us turn our attention to why we still find the Cthulhu mythos, of which he planted the seed, a fruitful garden in which to find story. I like how, okay, first paragraph is saying it's basically a trigger warning. The second paragraph, which is the sentence really, is in bold telling you that he was a racist and an anti-Semite. The third one is telling you about how Lovecraft named his cat the wrong thing.
There's a white man standing in the street.
Oh god, I'm gonna have fun with these. And then they say, okay, yes, the Lovecraft mythos is great fun. You're gonna really enjoy our game. You know, it's really a fruitful garden of things to enjoy. Moving on to the bottom of the page, why don't we? In recent years, many writers, including writers of color, stop right there. I hate this term. Writers of color, peoples of color, women of color. I hate this fucking term. I really do. Why can't you just call people what they are? There was this clip from Morgan Freeman which really exemplifies what I'm trying to say here.
How are we going to get rid of racism until...
Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man. And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. I know you as Mike Wallace. You know me as Morgan Freeman.
I mean, when I look at the people in my bookcase there, yes, most of them are straight white men. But I also have a lot of books from Japan, Asia. The idea of calling Junji Ito, Ken Asumatsu, Go Tanabe, or any of these other authors who are technically writers of color, to call them writers of color or people of color, it feels revolting to me. Because they are just writers. You know, I don't make a distinction between Ken Asumatsu and H.P. Lovecraft because the one is Japanese and the other guy is an Anglo-Saxon. Anyway, back to the article. In recent years, many writers, including colored writers, have flipped the perspective of some of Lovecraft's most famous stories and made brilliant new works. Excellent examples, I need a fucking citation on that, are The Ballad of Black Tom by Victor Lavelle. Yes, that one was, as I remember it, all about race and how problematic it all was. The Dream Quest of Velvet Bow by Kij Johnson. Yes, that is a feminist reinterpretation of the Dream Quest of Unknown Kadeth. And you know, when you use feminist as a descriptive, as an adjective, you just know you're going to have a fun time because feminists are just the most fun people on earth. Hammers on Bone by Cassandra Cole. Never heard of that one. And Winter Tide. Oh boy, I've heard of that one. By Ruthana Emrys. Winter Tide goes like this. You know the Shadow over Innsmouth, right? Of course you do. Imagine if you take the Shadow over Innsmouth, but this time, the ones that you need to sympathize with, the good guys, are the deep ones. The ones with the Innsmouth look. You know, the ones that wanted to kill the protagonist, Robert Olmsted, they wanted to slaughter him. The ones that killed Zadok Allen for talking too much. They're the good guys. The ones that wanted to bring up Shoggoths from the deep into the land of humanity. They wanted to bring up Shoggoths. That's what they were planning to do. The ones that threw the shadow in the first place of Innsmouth, a once prosperous, thriving fishing town in New England. They turned it into basically a shithole, like modern day Paris or London. That's what they did. But you have to sympathize with them. They're the good guys. That just tells you everything you really need to know about the people that would promote this shit as something that is acceptable and consumable for the average Lovecraft fan. So while I was making this video, and because it took me a couple days to make it, this article came out relating to the quote-unquote controversy of this game coming out. Cthulhu tabletop game won't back down on calling out Lovecraft's racism because, well, he was a racist motherfucker. Okay, first of all, let's see who wrote this. Well, guys, if you scroll to the bottom of the article, you can find out who wrote it and, of course, the pronouns. Because of course. So basically, let's have a look at this article, and we're just going to go through it quickly because I have a feeling this video is long enough. What I thought was hilarious here was this point. As a black fan of Lovecraft, I'm not laughing because Lovecraft has black fans. Of course they do. I've met some, well, I mean, online. But, I absolutely know there are black fans of Lovecraft, but the thing that makes me laugh is that I can smell the bullshit through my laptop. He is not a fan of Lovecraft. You are not a fan of Lovecraft whatsoever. You see, I'll tell you why they write things like this. That, yes, we are fans of Lovecraft. We just want to challenge the problematic blah, 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 blah. All this sort of bullshit. They say it so they don't look like complete, outright aliens coming into the mythos, into a mythos which they don't give a shit about. They want to get the sympathy. Like, no, yes, we really are fans. We just want to make it nice for everybody, You see what I told you earlier in the video, when a leftist says something, it always means something else. There's always an ulterior motive behind it. You cannot trust what comes out of these snakes' mouths. I've long come to terms with the fact that he would dislike my existence. You see, you make it sound like he wants to have your head on a spike or something, but that's absolutely not true. Sure, Lovecraft didn't like it when certain areas of his Anglo-Saxon world became tainted with mass immigration, like the horror of Red Hook, which I'm sure is what this person is thinking of when they write this. But he never wanted anyone to be killed. He never asked for the extermination of peoples like that. No, sir. He never was like that. He had opinions which today are unpopular, but that's about it. But I find it endlessly frustrating when his fans, and notice how she puts it in quotes, insist on making excuses for his behavior. Obviously, with the quote marks there, it's implying that these people who, as she puts it, make excuses for his behavior are not fans. So I guess I am not a fan of Lovecraft. How long have I been doing this channel? 3 years. How much time do I spend making these videos? Well, admittedly, I'm sure you could agree I could be uploading more. And you know what? You know who else is not a fan? SJWs is not a fan. He's not a fan. Robert M. Price, he's not a fan either because he is not woke. They are not fans because they are not trying to crucify Lovecraft with every breath they take regarding his mythos. Ken Asamatsu, the guy who's basically the Japanese St. Joshi, he's not a fan either because as a person of I almost said person of color. Ken Asamatsu does not take the time out of his day to whinge and whine about how Lovecraft is problematic. I guess he's not a fan, even though he's basically built his whole career about, working in a publishing house that deals with weird fiction, cosmic horror, and Lovecraft. I guess he's not a fan either. Strange, huh? According to Game Rant, they point out that his use of a slur to name a cat...
And chewy on some hot nigga. Like I talked to Shicey when I shot niggas.
Okay. In his 1924 short story The Rats and the Walls, based on his real-life pet, and that despite that, they are interested in using the world that Lovecraft created to deal with deeper human and societal struggles.
I could never write about ordinary people, because I'm not in the least interested in them. Man's relation to man does not captivate my fancy. It is man's relation to the cosmos, to the unknown, which alone arouses in me the spark of creative imagination. I could never write about ordinary people, because I'm not in the least interested in them.
You disrespectful, stupid idiot.
Naturally, the usual suspects were not happy with that. Well, I guess that's me. And were upset about politics. Why do they put quotes around politics? It is politics being brought into a game. The developers responded saying, if you don't like the politics included in our games, don't buy them. We are committed to diversity and inclusive gaming.
Look at this dude. Wait till you see the... No, 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 no.
And then we come up to some tweets from Stephen Blackmore, and he was the first listed producer or creator of this tabletop RPG. Apparently this guy has a website. Let's go check it out. Why do these guys all look like this? Why is it, what goes it that goes hand in hand? Why is it that makes soy aficionados go hand in hand with leftist politics? I just don't get it. There must be some underlying reason behind it all. Anyway, he tweets, let me get this straight. In Fate of Cthulhu, we specifically pointed out the racism of H.P. Lovecraft because, well, he was a racist motherfucker, and we couldn't in good conscience ignore that. And he goes on to tweet again, I don't know about you, but if I'm tying my name to a racist motherfucker, I kind of want to make sure people understand why. Racist motherfucker or not, he sparked a world that has endured and grown by a lot of much better authors. First thing I notice here is that why does he keep calling him a racist motherfucker? This guy says it 3 times in reference to Lovecraft. Like he cannot say the name. Maybe once if you really hate the guy. Sure, I swear on my videos sometimes. But to continuously use it and continuously use the same term, it's kind of like they want you to know how against racism they are. They really want you to know what a good person they are. They're a good person. They really want to hammer that home there. And he even lists it here in the tweet. I don't know about you guys, but if I'm tying my name to racist motherfucker, I kind of want to make sure people understand why, because I'm sure in his circle of friends, I can only imagine what they look like, Lovecraft is not a very popular read. Seems a lot of people, probably white people, have a problem with us having done this. You got politics in my game. Evil hat stances. If you don't like it, don't buy it. I back that 10,000%. Okay, don't buy it, guys. You heard it from him here, right here, the producer of this game. Probably white people. What is it with white liberals and having a hatred against their own kind? Tim Pool. You know who Tim Pool is? He's this weird guy, you know. It's complicated to describe who Tim Pool is. He did this video recently, and that the only people that had an out-group preference, as in dislike for their own kind and a much bigger preference and warmer feelings for people not like them, were white liberals. Isn't that very strange, Stephen? Thanks has to be given out to a subscriber of mine who messaged me regarding this further tweet by the same company which produced the game. You know who you are, and thank you very much for bringing this to my attention. I had to modify my video a little bit to include it, but I'm very glad you sent it to me. Anyway, the tweet goes, by the same company, Evil Hat Productions, in Fate of Cthulhu, you don't play a hapless investigator spiraling inevitably towards doom. You're a kick-ass resistance fighter from the future, sent back in time to stave off the Elder God's apocalypse. What will you sacrifice to save the planet? You know what? I don't know if I should even spend a moment explaining to you why this is completely inaccurate when it comes to the mythos and how the mythos functions and what the purpose of Lovecraft's stories are. I feel like, honestly, if I had to explain this to you, it would be insulting to your intelligence as a Lovecraft fan. Evil Hat Productions goes on to say, if you're just finding this post and wondering what the vitriol is all about, mostly it's a brigade of 46 follower accounts run by people who are mad we called out H.P. Lovecraft for the racist and anti-Semite he was. The 46 follower accounts, the ones that are pushing back against your product, are just some random trolls with 46 follower accounts. I hate to be narcissistic here, but I have 11,500 followers. Mr. H Reviews, he has, at the making of this video, 234,000 followers. And the ratio on the video that he made regarding your shitty little board game, 27,904,000 views with 2,500 upvotes and only 109 downvotes. So the idea that it's only a little small fraction of trolls and haters, god damn, that's another term along with people of color that I absolutely hate. The idea that it's just a bunch of troll haters that are going after your game and that the true Lovecraft fans will really love this wokeness, it's absolute bullshit. Okay guys, here we are back on Twitter. Since the predictable edgelords and apologists have now shown up, a quick reminder, if you don't like the politics included in our game, don't buy them. We literally do not want your money. We are committed to diverse and inclusive gaming. We are not perfect, but we're trying. Make cosmic horror a safe space.
6.5 hours later.
How does that work? Explain it to me. Okay. Let's see their Twitter profile. Maybe they are just a shit poster, or no clues as to whether this is satire or if it's real, because I really cannot tell. For the sake of argument, assume that they're telling the truth. Safe space. Cosmic horror is all about the fact that the human race is completely fucked. Fuck it.
Game over, man. It's game over.
There is nowhere that is safe. The Lovecraft mythos, it doesn't care about your feelings. That's the whole point of cosmic horror. It doesn't care about human sensibilities or morality or what is right or wrong. It doesn't give a shit. And you want to turn it into a fucking safe space. So how does it work? You know, you're on the island, Arlia. Cthulhu wakes up and he's pissed off. And you're one of the sailors. Cthulhu wakes up and he's about to squash you. And then you say, excuse me, this is inappropriate. I'm actually here in a safe space. And your tentacles are quite triggering to me. So when Cthulhu wakes up, do you also have to tell him your fucking pronouns or what? Oh, guys, I love this job, this channel. Moving on. Weekend Warrior. Oh my god, I love this guy. He's a YouTuber as well. He does a very simple channel where he does like simple art style, but a lot of complex commentary and that sort of stuff. Very witty guy. I'm sure what he has to say is going to be worth reading. Dead Artist X was problematic and we condemn them, but we will still exploit their works and profit from their pre-existing fan base while pretending to be woke for internet brownie points. That's not scummy at all. Sir, I applaud you. That is exactly spot on. That's the whole thing. They hate Lovecraft. They really hate him. They hate Lovecraft. but they want that money. You see, Lovecraft's fandom spans the whole globe. There are people from all over the world, and Lovecraft is not in the copyright. There's no copyright on Lovecraft. He's in the free market, basically. You can take Cthulhu and make whatever story you want about him, right? And you can sell it and make a profit. And you see, that's the thing, isn't it? That's the thing.
We've got to have money.
And that's what makes these people so scummy. If this was just another leftist article shitting on Lovecraft, I'd just move on. But this, they want to rip off you, the person watching this video, or the person that watched Mr. H's video. They want your money. They want to rip you off and sell you bullshit.
Money.
Miskatonic School for Girls did the same thing. They did the super up their own arse series of virtue signals about how Lovecraft was super racist, but we're going to take that racist work and convert it into something inclusive, followed by a series of progressive buzzwords. Now this is an interesting tweet. New River Comics and Games. This sounds like it's a company or a shop or something. They say, Taleson put it best during his Call of Cthulhu one-shot, to basically take the cosmic horror role-playing, make the game less what scares Lovecraft and more about what scares you, the players and Game Master, I think GM stands for. Since it turns out what scared Lovecraft was anything that wasn't upstate, Rhode Island and white. Well, that's just absolutely factually not correct at all. But the thing that gets me in this thing here, I wonder, this is not a personal account, is it? No, it's a company account. Let's take a look. It's a shop. You can see in the background of the photo there, it's a shop that sells board games, books, and that sort of things, it seems like. Now this company, I wonder how many books, board games, and graphic novels they've sold based on Lovecraft's works. I imagine it's quite a bit. Now they don't seem to have the problem with Lovecraft when he's bringing in money, do they? No. If they had any integrity, they would not sell Lovecraft products. But they're hypocrites, and they have no backbone to stand up for what they believe, if there's enough money. This is such a great way to tackle Lovecraft's terrible legacy. Much love for boosting authors of color. Here we have another shit poster. So brave. I mean, some people would say real bravery would be to not use his intellectual property to line your own pockets, but not me. Hypocrisy is the real bravery. Alright guys, that's as much bullshit as I can take for one day. It's too much. At the end of the day, I don't care. I'm not upset, and I actually had a lot of fun making this video. I think you can tell by the amount of humor I inserted into it. The purpose of this video was to point out the hypocrisy, and also to provide a warning that if you see this game on a shelf somewhere, and you're thinking of getting it, well, of course, that's your right to get it, it's your money, and I won't say don't get it, I'm gonna hate you if you get this game. It's just a warning to say, if you're thinking of this, perhaps go get Eldritch Horror, a great game, and I'll review that soon enough. Anyway guys, thanks for watching my video, I hope you had a laugh. In the video description, I'll put in all the links to the articles I use, the Twitter threads, all that sort of stuff, all that good relevant information. Yeah, I hope you liked this video, I'll see you guys again very soon. Cheers.